Today, we're going to unlock the private journal of one of the most powerful men who ever lived. And we're going to reveal a pretty surprising truth. The strategies he used to rule an empire, well, they're the exact same ones you can use to master your own mind. Let's break down how to think like a Roman emperor.
So let's just dive right in. What if you could find this unshakable calm even when everything around you feels like it's in total and utter chaos?
And what if every single challenge, every bit of pressure you faced didn't break you down, but actually built you up, making you wiser, making you stronger?
And what if success or getting some influence didn't lead to arrogance, but instead it actually refined you, making you a better, more thoughtful person? Look, these aren't just nice ideas. They were the daily practice of one really remarkable man.
Our guide on this journey is Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, the Marcus Aurelius. For almost 2 decades, he was pretty much the most powerful person on earth, ruling the massive Roman Empire at its absolute peak. But it's what was going on inside his mind that is truly revolutionary.
Because here's the thing. Despite all that power, his private writings show a man who was wrestling with the exact same stuff we do. He felt fear leading his armies into battle. He dealt with the devastating loss of several of his children. He suffered from chronic illness, was betrayed by his most trusted general, and he was filled with self-doubt. He was an emperor, yeah, but he was also profoundly human. And that is the absolute key here. The book he's so famous for, Meditations, was never meant for you and me to read. It was his personal journal, literally written in the pre-dawn quiet on the front lines of a war. Just a series of private notes to himself on how to be a good person, especially when life got really, really hard.
So, how did he do it? How did he manage it all? Well, it all starts with this one core Stoic idea, and this slide lays it out perfectly. Just look at the 2 columns. On the left, you've got what's in your control. Your thoughts, your judgments, your actions, your values. That's your kingdom. On the right, you've got, well, everything else. What other people think of you, external events, the final outcome of your hard work, even fate. According to the Stoics, that is not your kingdom.
And this right here, this is the Stoic diagnosis for so much of our anxiety and frustration. They argued that almost all of our stress comes from trying to control the things on the right side of that chart, which is impossible, while we tragically neglect the things on the left, which are the only things we ever truly own. This leads to a really profound psychological insight. In fact, it's the direct blueprint for modern cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Think about it. It's not getting cut off in traffic that ruins your day. It's the story you immediately tell yourself. That guy's a jerk. He did it on purpose. My day is ruined. The event itself is neutral. It's your judgment that creates the suffering. CBT literally trains you to catch that automatic story, question it, and change it. Marcus Aurelius was doing this 2,000 years ago. To put all this into practice, Marcus used this powerful metaphor, the inner citadel. He imagined his mind as this unbreachable fortress. No matter what happened outside, wars, plagues, betrayals from his closest friends, the inner citadel could remain calm, orderly, and free. And what is this fortress built from? Not from stone and mortar, but from things that no one can ever take away from you. It's built from your core values, your ability to reason clearly, and the strength of your character. You can't control the world, but you can always retreat into this inner fortress to find your strength and your clarity.
Now, this might sound purely defensive, but the Stoics had some really proactive strategies too. One of the most potent was this one, premeditatio malorum. Now, this isn't about being a pessimist. It's about being prepared. Think of it like a dress rehearsal for adversity. By calmly thinking through worst-case scenarios ahead of time, you strip them of their shock value, of their emotional sting.
So here's the crucial point. When adversity does strike, and it will, it feels familiar, not terrifying. You've already run the simulation in your head. You've already planned your virtuous response. It's that simple. A prepared mind just suffers less because it is never caught completely by surprise. Okay, another core practice. And this one sounds even darker at first, but it has the complete opposite effect. Memento mori. Remember you will die. Marcus was constantly reminding himself that his time and the time of everyone he knew was limited. It was finite. But just look at the result of that practice. Thinking about mortality doesn't make you morbid. It makes you feel alive. All of a sudden, your ego seems a lot less important. Those petty arguments and anxieties, they just fade into the background. You feel a deep gratitude for the present moment, and you realize you can't afford to postpone the life you actually want to live. You know, all these tools, the dichotomy of control, the inner citadel, remembering death, they aren't just for feeling better. That's a huge misunderstanding. Stoicism isn't really self-help. It's more like a training regimen for your character. It's self-discipline for a much higher purpose, serving the greater good and just trying to be a good human being. And that purpose is to live a life of virtue. For the Stoics, that meant embodying these 4 cardinal virtues in everything you do. Justice, being fair and kind to others. Courage, facing challenges with integrity. Wisdom, seeing the world clearly. And temperance, mastering your own desires and impulses.
This makes philosophy incredibly practical. In any situation, whether you're dealing with a difficult coworker or a massive personal crisis, you can just ask yourself this one question. It shifts your focus away from what do I want to what is the right thing to do. It calls on the best version of yourself to show up.
Okay, let's bring this all home because this ancient operating system has never been more relevant. I mean, we live in a world that seems engineered to produce anxiety, constant social comparison, reflexive outrage, and just endless digital distraction. So what's the Stoic response to all this? It's basically a 4-step process. First, you pause. You just create a little space between the stimulus and your response. Second, you choose character over ego. You act from your values, not from a wounded ego. Third, you accept setbacks without beating yourself up, recognizing what was outside of your control. And finally, you focus all your energy on your effort, the one thing you own, not the final outcome. And this is a really vital clarification. Stoicism is not some magic pill that removes all pain from life. Pain, loss, hardship, they're inevitable parts of being human. But the suffering we add on top of that pain, the stories, the judgments, the anxieties about what it all means, that is optional. That is what Stoicism helps you dissolve. So, in the end, we come back to Marcus. He commanded legions, he governed millions of people, and his name has echoed through history for 2,000 years. But his real triumph, the one he fought for every single day in the pages of his journal, was the mastery of his own inner world.
And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a throne to achieve that same victory. All you need are the same tools he used: the awareness to see what's truly in your control, the discipline to practice these ideas every day, a commitment to virtue, and the courage to just live honestly.
Because that is the ultimate promise of this philosophy. You cannot command the storms of the world to just stop. But you can build an inner citadel so strong that you become the calm within the storm. The world may not change, but you will, and that changes everything.